Hey everyone, hi guys. I just wanted to show you a little of what I've been working on and tell you what I'm doing. Basically, I'm trying to develop a small project of mine, a little online game. It's an RTS called InterDAX. It's sort of like Red Alert. And here's our construction tractor. This is what it looks like right now. I think it looks pretty cool, but there are still a few things I need to improve. What don't I like about it? It moves pretty nicely and the textures are decent, but I don't like this team color stripe. It goes around the tractor and shows which side it belongs to, but it joins together here in a weird way. I think I'll split it up somehow so it looks cleaner. Right now, it looks a little silly, like some random stripe. Anyway, that's not really important. What I really wanted to show you is where the project is at right now. We can already build with the tractor. It drives up to a location and starts construction like this, for example. Okay. Right now, it doesn't drive away afterwards, so I still need to tune that. But the main thing is that it already has a construction zone and it builds. There are also things I don't like about the construction animation. Overall, it's pretty cool, and I like this upper part, but I don't like when random pieces just slide out of the building from nowhere. To me, that doesn't feel very realistic. How is a building actually built? It gradually rises floor by floor. That's the kind of effect I want. I also don't like these temporary construction structures. I want them to extend outward and grow around the building while it's being built. I think that could look pretty cool. I've also designed a small set of buildings so far. Some of them build very quickly at the moment, others more slowly. As for the camera, I'm planning to keep it around this height. If we look here, this is roughly the size of a person. I have four more people here, but those guys are smaller. The real infantry will be closer to this size. Infantry is a separate topic though. I'll talk about that later. Here's another building. Every strategy needs some kind of defensive structure, right? So this will be one of ours. I won't go into all the details yet, but the idea is that you'll be able to put infantry inside it and they will fight from this little tower. You'll also be able to mount a radar on top, so there's a whole system planned around it. Then we have, for example, a power plant. I actually like the power plant right now. It has no animations, but I'll add some so parts of it move. I also want steam or smoke coming out of it so it feels alive. Maybe I'll add some lighting in places as if there's machinery working inside, and I have an idea for how power plants will work in gameplay. A power plant will cover a fairly large area, something like a circle around it, and buildings inside that area will work normally. Buildings outside the powered area, or if you have no power plant, will still work, but they'll work about twice as slowly. That's the basic idea. Now, if you look at the tractor, it already drives around pretty nicely, and all of this is already running over the internet. It's all online. I've also got a second computer over there. It's a really weak little laptop, but it works and is good enough for testing. I can use it to test attacks and things like that. So I attack a building or do something on one machine, then check what happens on the other, look through the logs, make sure everything is being sent and processed correctly, and so on. It's actually very convenient for this kind of testing. And then I do all the main work on my primary PC. And if we look at some of the other units, you can see that things still move strangely and sometimes stutter. Here's a tank, for example, and here's an aircraft. It's kind of floating around. That's because I haven't properly adapted it for online play yet. There's still a lot of work to do there, testing, checking synchronization, all of that. And here's another thing, why is the camera so high? Look at the aircraft. From up here, it actually looks pretty cool when it flies. Why? Because the camera is high enough. In a lot of RTS games, take Generals for example, although that's an old game, the aircraft fly incredibly low, and to me it honestly looks a bit ridiculous. This unit isn't finished yet, so it still moves with some stuttering. At the moment, I've mainly worked out the buildings and the construction unit for one faction. One, what else do we have? Let's build something else with this tractor. Here's an airport, or more specifically, a military airfield. There are these stupid bushes all over the place right now. Obviously, I'll remove those automatically when a building is placed, so vegetation won't be sticking through the construction site. I also really don't like these things around the building. I'm going to replace them with something that wraps around the structure more naturally and looks much cleaner. Right now, they're just a rough imitation of construction scaffolding, but they look silly because they seem to shoot out from nowhere. I don't like that. So for now, that's almost everything. But at the same time, it's actually quite a lot because the most important thing is already starting to come together. I'm beginning to understand how to make the online system work and, just as importantly, how to test it properly. Let me also show you how attacking works. These are my tanks. I can't just select any tank because the two tanks we saw before are on one team, while these three belong to another. So this is how an attack works right now. This is what it looks like. The explosions aren't exactly amazing yet, although for a tank, they're not bad. I might add some kind of visible trail behind the shell, but that's actually not as simple as it sounds. I need to think about how to make it look good. So here's the attack. We can also repair things, and yes, the building is starting to fall apart. Let's stop the attack for a moment. Okay, now we've stopped it. Oh, I was too late. That's it. The building is destroyed. Well, whatever. We'll leave it destroyed and just build another one. Now we can also try building the main building, the command center. This is roughly what it's going to look like. It's supposed to be big. And that's actually one of the things I really want in the game. Yes, the tractor just fell through something there. We'll fix that eventually. But the point is, I want the buildings to be genuinely large. I look at some really impressive RTS projects, and I'm not comparing myself to them, I'm just one small developer. And sometimes you look at a building and think, how did an entire vehicle possibly come out of that tiny thing? How is that supposed to work? That annoys me in almost every strategy game. So I want the scale here to make a bit more sense. This is our command center. It has a sort of post-Soviet look. In general, the buildings for this faction have a CIS, post-Soviet kind of style. Alright, let's see how it gets destroyed. This should be interesting. We'll point the tanks at it and start firing. There we go. Something broke off, and another piece came flying off. There's fire as well. For now, I only put it in as a placeholder. I might keep the smoke more or less like this, but I'll definitely replace the fire because honestly, it looks terrible. That's fine though. We'll keep working on it. Okay, let's stop here for a moment. Now we wait until everything dies down. When the attack stops, the smoke and fire gradually disappear and then the building can be repaired. Technically, you can repair a building at any time. That's not a problem. But I want you to see roughly what the repair process is going to look like. It'll be a gradual restoration. The damaged parts will come back step by step. I think it should look pretty nice once it's polished. So, yeah, that's roughly how it works. All right, that's it for now. If any of this is interesting to you, subscribe, leave a like, and tell me what you think. What do you like? What don't you like? What would you add? Or what looks terrible to you and should be changed? Or maybe you'll just say, dude, what the hell are you wasting your time on? Forget it and do something else. I doubt that would actually stop me, but I'm still genuinely curious what you think, all three people who watch my channel. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'll show you something new.